Here's the list. The youngest players in NBA history to score 40 in a game. LeBron, Kevin Durant, and now Anthony Edwards.
Really quick, before I begin, if you guys can smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, this seriously makes a huge difference to my videos and lets YouTube know to recommend this video to a brand new audience. So thank you so much for doing that, and let's begin.
So here's the list. The youngest players in NBA history to score 40 in a game. LeBron, 19 years, 88 days. Kevin Durant, 19 years, 200 days. And now Anthony Edwards, 19 years, 225 days. If you've been paying attention to Edwards, he is feeling himself this month. We've seen the dunks. We knew the efficiency wasn't great. I'm not worried about any of that right now. I'm just not. What I'm looking at is a number one overall pick that's supposed to help change the course of your franchise. They all can't be LeBrons, and most of them never are. And look, we could even scale that down a bit from, Blake Griffin at one point was a really nice first overall pick. It'd be easy with recency bias to be like, was it? No, Blake was awesome. Blake was really, really good for a while, added to those pieces. That's what you're looking for. Is this a core guy that can kind of be our 1 or 2 on a decent basketball team? Because I think we should always lower our expectations for draft picks. But if you're watching Edwards, we know the dunks. They're stupid. But there's something happening with Edwards. So I have a bunch of things that I want to hit on. So we know the stats there for Edwards. Last night he went 15 of 31. That's right. He took 31 shots. He is letting it fly in March. He was 4 of 6 from 3, ended up 4 of 13. So he kept bombing away and missing. But he did get to the free throw line 13 times, made 8 of those. But here's the bigger picture with Edwards, where Jim Peterson, who does the color analyst work for the T-Wolves, I don't know who's better than him. I'm not saying he's emphatically number one, but he's incredible. He's prepped. He weaves in commentary and observations perfectly. And he brought up a good point, which is I think anybody that's watching this going, okay, I'd like to see a few more assists. He had 3 assists with 31 shots last night, or just creating for others, hockey assists, some of that other stuff. But again, I'm not worried about it because some of the overall numbers are scary. He's got the second worst value over replacement player of any player in the draft. He's the 6th worst in plus minus. There's some other stuff there that's really bad. And even though he's overall 32% from 3 for the season, he's 34% this month, and that's with 2 disastrous games this month. I think he had another game where he went 1 from 10 for 3. But what we do like is that he's attacking. He's constantly attacking. When we look at ball handlers coming out of college, going into the draft, you're like, okay, he can get to the hoop, but will he get to the hoop in the NBA? Now, it's never been easier to score in the NBA. The spacing allows a little bit more room there, but it's still, if they're going to load up on you, and you're seeing this with some of the Zion defensive stuff where, okay, Zion, you want to just get a takeoff and get downhill, then we're going to start shading more people to you, and then Zion will make the adjustment off of that. The scary thing with Zion is you can put 3 people in front of him, and sometimes he's still going to get through all of you without fouling, and you're probably going to foul him, and then he's still going to get a really good shot off. So back to Edwards. Edwards is big enough, he is quick enough where he can get to the hoop at will. And that is an unbelievable starting point for anybody that's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, because I don't know that there's just a million guys that can do this. We think there are, and there aren't. If we go back to this draft, Kyra Lewis out of Bama, who also plays for the Pelicans, one of the things that jumped out immediately, I was like, wait, this guy can get to the hoop at a different level here. He can get you off the dribble, and he can finish. And you're seeing some glimpses of that in the NBA, where I think there's other college players where you go, I don't know if he's going to be able to turn the corner. And if he turns the corner, is he actually going to be able to finish at the rim? Like, is he going to be shut down? And that's where a lot of college scorers' careers end because they can't make that transition. Edwards not worried about it whatsoever. But the shooting numbers are impressive because they were so unimpressive at Georgia. When you watched Edwards, he was 29% from 3 on 8 attempts. It wasn't just that he was sub 30, it's that he kept shooting them all the time. Bad shots across the board. Now, it wasn't a great team. I'm sure Crean was probably wish there were a few less attempts there. And look, even Edwards now is taking some where you go, all right, that one, that's just hard. That's an impossible shot. And maybe he grows out of that. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe in a few years, we're like, well, it never really happened for him. I don't know the answer to that. But right now, I don't care if I'm a Timberwolves fan because I'm thinking, hey, we don't have a bust here. We have a guy physically, and I think from a mental standpoint, he doesn't have so much respect for the NBA that he's afraid to do some of these things, all right? So I don't care how bad the metrics are on some of this. I just like some of the stuff that we've seen so far. Yes, I'm a little worried about what it's going to look like when D'Angelo Russell comes back. He's like, hey, all those shots that you're taking, I get to take those now because I make the worst decisions of any player that gets the ball a lot in the league. And I believe that with Russell. But the early returns for whatever version of a season we're seeing here right now, the anxiety before the draft, and then those first couple weeks where you're like, do we have something? You have something. I don't know what it is right now, but it's better than I think anybody could have thought it.